Alright, let me just fast forward a bit just in case I'm behind, but we should be fairly close to live here. And I'll just do a quick introduction and we'll have a look at the game from here. So, this would be the first game. I need to update the scoreboard here as well. Play all, Showmatch. We have Chinese versus Aztecs here. Nili-Hallis agreed to play in this Showmatch on my channel, which I'm very, very thankful for the modest prize pool of 150 USD dollars and any potential donations. And I speculated whether Aztecs and Chinese would be the picks here to begin with, and that is indeed the case. We have Nili playing as the Aztecs and Hallis with the Chinese here, who seems off to a good start with only 18 seconds of idle time here. There will always be a little bit of idle time with the Chinese while waiting for the food income to kick in. So, Alconder, what's your pick on the maps here? Who is getting the better end of the deal?
Did you see the forward goals? Did you see the forward goals?
Yeah, they both have forward goals, to be honest. But
Well, yeah, true. Neely's is really bad because the wood line between there, it's really disgusting in my opinion. But otherwise, back main gold is good. I don't know which map I would prefer. Maybe hard to say. The deer of Hallis is really bad.
Yeah, where are they even? They're far to the left. Yeah, that's it.
Is what Arabia is this? HC?
I think it's the standard one.
Really? Wow.
Thanks for the follow, Jim Innervanne. So yeah, to the maps here. You said the resources on Nili. I would say that I was going to say that I think Nili's base is easier to wall, but maybe that's actually not the case. But I do prefer Hallis's base overall. I think Nili even has forward berries, which could be kind of an issue. It's easier denied than Hallis that at least has them to the side, but closer to the TC. We'll see how they choose to play this. Hallis does keep that villager lead that Chinese grant you with their extra starting 3 villagers. Of course, you take Loom right away, so that's 1 villager's worth of time right there. But yeah, it seems to be going for the short economic approach to walling here, to go slightly outside of the barriers there and to the edge of the map maybe. And overall funnel any aggression in towards the TC. Which basically means that Hallis will only have 1 gold inside of his walls. And that could be a big issue if Nili gets his early aggression down.
Yeah, indeed.
And I see that Hallis has 2 back stones, so usually doesn't apply, but if you have to force yourself into some defensive towers, at least that's makes it easier to have 1 way of defending if you fall behind the military, but shouldn't be too significant overall. And there's the feud late for Hallis. No military building just yet, so this... Wait, there's the barracks, and Nili is here with the eagle to, at the very least, delay that a little bit, maybe. Well, actually he doesn't touch it. While Hallis is just now back on Nili's side to see that the barracks doesn't have any flags on it yet. Could be an indication that Nili here is going for the... I was going to say it could be an indication of straight archers, but here are the militia in the queue. Looks more like a 22 men-at-arms here. It's a little visual stuttering. Well, that seems to be the
Okay,
game.
I'm live again. Sorry, I had to restart.
Oh, okay.
Some internet connection issues. All right. It seems like they have the same idea, right? Both men-at-arms.
Yeah, and that could be a reaction. Hallis was just forward. He didn't see a flag on the barracks, but he did see the barracks. And of course, it's not going to come as a surprise that the Aztecs are in fact going for an infantry opening. It's very standard for the Aztecs with their extra starting 50 gold to go for either rush or men-at-arms, simply because of the ease of production and of these 3 militia units. You essentially get the gold for the men-at-arms upgrade for free, being Aztecs with that extra 50 starting gold. Nili is going to beat Hallis slightly to men-at-arms, but I don't think these 4 seconds are going to matter too much. However, Nili turns back, not wanting to engage before he actually has the men-at-arms here.
Yeah, that hill is nasty. You shouldn't fight there.
Especially not without men-at-arms, but their timings are on point here. Hallis has a little bit more idle TC time behind this, but that could be a Chinese food thing again to balance that, or just some distractions. Sorry about the stutter and capture rate, by the way. Could be because I'm following a game live, but I hope it's not too distracting. You see the archers in production from Nili. It seems to be going with 1 range here. Same for Hallis with the Chinese. Very much a mirrored approach here, which in a sense benefits Hallis if he can keep that villager lead, which he is currently doing. He's with 27 to 25 villagers here, so he's essentially bringing in more resources until he can get obstructed, that is. You know, they're very hesitant to engage as well. Nili is playing this a lot more open, while Hallis is going for the full wall. And tells me that Hallis wants to play this more on the defensive side and maybe hunt for a faster, smoother Castle Age transition with the extra villagers that implies being the Chinese here.
Great.
What do you say? I didn't catch what you said there, Akkal-AOE. Scout fight here, but Hallis is going to lose that one. Rip co-cast. Is he even in the voice chat here? Let's see. Yeah, he is. I can't hear him. Oh, Hallis will be losing the men-at-arms now. Nili keeps his at full HP here. No, other way around. Nili is losing the men-at-arms, sorry. Ah, I must be colorblind. You just said green. Okay, he's drunk then. So, good defense from Hallis so far. My bad for messing up the colors. These archers are at very low HP though, so they are at risk of being picked off by Nili's archer and skirmisher here. Aztecs with their unique technologies in the later game as well have Atlatl skirmishers. Of course, Aztecs with the long term, they're lacking thumb rings. They have worse arbalest than Chinese will bring to the field for that reason. Yeah, I know. We can't hear Akkal-AOE for some reason. We'll have to check that.
Can you
I
hear
hear
me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I got some internet issues. It's
Yeah, I hear
fucking me up a
your
little bit.
voice is stuttering a little bit. So we're back on the hill here. This is going to be a hill that's going to haunt us the whole game through here, I think. They've muted. Yeah. Conquest muted. And we see Hallis using these men-at-arms as kind of a meat shield between the archers and his own archers and Nili's armies here. Nili has mixed in some skirmishers as well, and he is with double range production, so he will be outnumbering Hallis here. But Hallis now with the second range as well. "78" says Ogda1, and he's correct. Nili mixing in some skirmishes here. Hallis being very careful with our armies here so as not to lose archers needlessly and keep the armies inside at home. Does Hallis have a hole at left hand side? No, it's just not complete, thankfully. So yeah, he's gonna finish it now. Either our Colner is just very silent, or we lost him again here. But he'll chip in when he can. I'm looking at the army management here. Look at this. It's very comparable idle TC times here. Hal is still keeping that tiny builder lead and now being the first one to the cast stage, but Nili will be following suit shortly. And this archer skirmisher mix is very nice against the feudal armies, but Hal is behind his walls here. He doesn't really need to engage. He can just poke around, try and get some easy pickoffs, and wait for that cast age to kick in a tiny bit earlier. Yeah, Akkal-AOE is from Germany. He is on Wi-Fi, I believe, so it's struggling a tiny bit. The time window is it's quite small here for Hallis, but also large enough maybe to use their crossbow to his advantage here. If he will be getting crossbow and bodkin before Nili here, and if it does, I mean, the moment Hallis kicks, Hallis's castle age kicks in, Nili will be pulling away here 100%. But if Nili for some reason doesn't, Hallis will have a fantastic opportunity to pick up numbers. See, Nili keeping continuous double range archers production behind this, so he's going to catch up in numbers. Surprised he didn't go around and try and trap. Yeah, that would be that would be amazing. But he's going for a really early ballistics here. Look at that, the university going up the moment Hallis reaches cast age. Bowsaw, bodkin arrow, crossbows. Wow. Nili needs to pull away ASAP here, even though Nili is only 10 seconds off from the cast age as well. So crossbow is in, Nili is pulling towards the nearest hill, and of course he'll have a crossbow and bodkin right around the corner as well. But Hallis will have ballistics most likely. Look at this, the university will complete and he'll be able to afford ballistic instantly. That's just huge here, and he's even getting a bit of surround against Nili here, who still doesn't have crossbow in. But on the other hand, Nili is invested into a second TC at home, and with the Aztecs with an eco bonus carrying more resources per trip for the villagers, that could be Aztec's point to return there. And if Hallis commits to the crossbow play here consistently as well, that means that Nili could make an Eagle Warrior switch at some point, both for raiding purposes and to focus down units. And here come the reinforcements on Nili, as mentioned as well. He had kept consistent production at home, bringing in another group. Let's see the comparison here. It should be fairly simple in HP. Hallis actually slightly outnumbers here. Chinese are so strong they can afford all the things at once. Yeah, you're right. Cheaper technologies for the Chinese is huge throughout the game. Chinese, I don't remember the discount rate, but from the feudal age onwards, Chinese get a, I think I said 10, 15 and 20% ratio or something. Oh, they live with the Mangoneldo, and Hallis might not see that. Sorry. Oh, fantastic Mangonel shot for Nili there. He takes out the whole advantage Hallis had numbers-wise. I mean, Nili is with 8 crossbows now, but beautiful shot. That is gotta hurt if you're Hallis. It still has almost similar numbers to Nili here, but I don't see any... Yeah, there comes the defensive siege workshop, so Hallis is going to bring up some siege of his own. But he'll need to rely on excellent Archer's micro now to keep the Mangonel from getting any more juicy shots in. Stupid German int that says all corner. Yeah, at least you could hang around in chat about. Nili now with 2 Mangonels. That makes the Archers, or the micro against Mangonels with Archers exclusively, all that more difficult for Hallis. Hallis will need to... Well, he has the defensive siege, but he's still going to have to rely on good Mangonel micro here to focus down Nili's. Looks like Hallis wants to go for an offensive on Nili's map here, and at least this woodline is very exposed for Nili, so Hallis might get some pickoffs here with ballistics already in. So it's dangerous. Both on Nili's Mangonels are forward, so Hallis doesn't really need to necessarily need to worry about Mangonel shots while moving forward now. But Nili, on the other hand, has 2 Mangonels forward and these crossbow Mathis as well. So he could easily push the economy of Hallis, while Hallis is busy microing Archers forward. Hallis gets a 1-for-0 trade though. That's a good Mangonel shot right there. And now with that 1 Mangonel out of the way, Hallis risks returning home to try and focus down some of Nili's numbers here. Nili with 3 Mangonels total, 2 of them defensively at home. Behind all this, Hallis is at a 10 builders lead, though 1-for-1 trade for the Mangonels there. That's a good one for both of the players. Looks like Nili has some forward buildings planned here, though Hallis actually sees that villager. So he probably has town watch them to see that Nili doesn't expect that, and down goes the forward villager. 74 villagers to 60 now. Looks like a very strong start for Chinese here. Hallis, however, doesn't have wheelbarrows, so that eco lead or builder's lead is a bit deceiving. Nili with wheelbarrow essentially has more efficient economy and slightly fewer villagers behind, but there comes wheelbarrow for Hallis. Where was that? I don't see it. Just gonna have a quick look at the scouting of the players as well. Seems like they got mostly the same areas scouted here. Nearly with a break in through the palisades here, but that shouldn't be a... Unless he can pass through here, which I think he can't. I don't think this is too scary for Nili. Nice, the defensive Mangonel on point for Hallis as well. Going to get a shot there. Yeah, gets the skirmisher. 2 Mangonels to defend. Nili simply can't enter and engage here. It's looking good for Hallis indeed. He's keeping that economy lead and obviously consistently producing villagers. They both are. But Hallis did get 13 villagers pickoffs here, while Nili hasn't gotten a single one so far. That's another juicy Mangonel shot for Nili though. And Hallis will have to move back again to dodge the Mangonels. I think Nili... I mean, he's wanting to collect the relics mainly for the Aztecs, or he's worried about some cavalry answer here. Thanks TGB official, and I'm sure Nili will appreciate the cheering and the donation.
Keep it up and stay hydrated. PS go Nili.
And look at this, one says what's going on top side. There are just a few crossbows here, but Nili will clean them up, I believe. Great Mangonel micro again from Hallis. He preserves that Mangonel, loses it, but gets a 1-for-1 trade there. Should be more than happy with that. Here comes a Mangonel from behind, maybe to get a hit in this group as well, while Nili doesn't have any more Mangonels forward. So the monster is up. Nili obviously wants to collect their relics as Aztecs, because the relics gain give 30% more hit points, gold. That's the 24-hour stream talking there. Nice Mangonel shot for Hallis there. Takes out quite a few crossbows. Nili stays with a slight army lead still though, and the monks, as pointed out by Ogre1, have redemption as well. So Hallis is the defensive Mangonels now could actually be converted by Nili's monks that also benefit from 5 hit points extra per technology research in the monastery. But we can't discourage the fact that Hallis has the builder's lead by 15 or so, almost 20, and is also going to the Imperial Age here. So if Hallis preserves a reasonable amount of crossbows here, he'll have Arbalests with Bracer, and suddenly Mangonels won't be an issue anymore. Monks probably won't be either. But he also needs to keep the villagers working, and all this micromanagement is taking a toll on the eco behind this. You'll note that Nili has slightly more idle tease time, yes, but he has much less idle eco time, which makes a difference in resource income as well. Nili won't be clicking Imperial Age just yet, but he's finding himself in a good offensive spot here to try and keep Hallis on his tiptoes, even with the Imperial Age advantage obviously kicking in here. 4 Mangonels pushing the town center now, and crossbows alone obviously won't be dealing with that, nor will 1 Mangonel. I'm surprised, a bit surprised Hallis hasn't gone into, given the ease of tech switches with Chinese, to go into some kind of mobility approach to force Nili more of a reaction at home. If you don't consider the Eagle Warriors, then Chinese are much more of a mobile civ than Aztecs. But they're both going mainly for the archers and siege here and monks, which are all kind of slow units, so you can't just run over to the other side and punish the forward. Here comes a little group of crossbows to look for some raiding potential again though. But this is definitely some solid forward pressure by Nili here. Guard tower defense from Hallis, that should keep the Mangonels and crossbows for that matter away, but Hallis obviously wants to preserve as many crossbows as possible. And with the Imperial Age in, Arbalest Bracer in, and Chemistry, Hallis, aside from the house situation, looks to be in a good spot here to push Nili back. Mangonels won't do much against Arbalest because Arbalest with Bracer outrange, and in this mass will even one-shot Mangonels. So Nili wisely pulls back. Probably wants to preserve those to go into Onager later as needed. And one mistake of Hallis there to move forward with the builders here. That's ambitious. That's a waste of builders for Hallis there. So Nili is evening it out a little bit here while going up to the next stage. Hallis, meanwhile, is preemptively taking into the swordsman line here to deal with a possible eagle switch from Nili, which is not happening just yet. But better safe than sorry, and that kind of... John Nash, hello! I casted one of your games versus Snippy earlier, that was a good set. Or fun set, I should say. Yeah, look at the Mangonels just crumbling to the Arbs masses here, and Hallis has a group over here as well to punish this woodline. No sign of any eagle switch, so Hallis can move fairly safely into Nili's base now. There are elite skirms in the making, of course, but for the time being, Hallis is on the offensive and picking up even more villagers. Yeah, he's extending that eco lead now, that villagers lead. The Imperial Age is in for Nili as well, but I think this game favors the Chinese at this point, given that sheer eco lead, and it's all about starting to push back and close out this game for Hallis now. Need to clear this middle presence from Nili. Try and starve Nili of gold, but this gold is of course very safe for Nili as long as this castle stays up. And Wildebeest points out that Nili's eco balance seems a bit off here, but yeah. I mean, with this much gold in the bank, it looks like Nili would be thinking about the eagles here, or would be considering that, but They've both been very focused on micromanagement, so that makes a difference as well. Look at the ARBs forward though, but they will have to fight skirmishers now, and that's never a good fight. Hallis is wasting ARBs here now, but he can't escape, so that's a very, very good gate placement by Nili there. I mean, Hallis could still shoot the gates and run out. I'm not sure why. Okay, he's actually cleaning up the skirmishes here, but at what cost though? At what cost? Nili is down 40 builders though. I mean, if Nili was down 10-15 builders with Aztecs, I wouldn't be too worried. But now he's down 30, almost 40 here, which makes it a lot more awkward eco-wise to hold out. It's mainly skirmishers for Nili now, getting some trebs out as well. There are roughly similar numbers of trebs here. But Hallis, you need some... I mean, the two-handed swordsmen on champions rather could certainly help out against the skirmishers, but I think the more obvious call here is to go for the Chinese light cab. Atlatl skirms with the numbers will certainly be good, but yeah, with only... Well, it's not only, it's 25, it's 35, it's 25, it's not bad, but... No, I'm not gonna add in the beer, not yet anyway, on that one. Why isn't Nili dropping another castle? He's dropping one to the side here, actually. So he's thinking long term. They both are thinking long term here with strategic castle spots here. And they're sort of assuming control over their neutral resources here. Hallis expanding to the left-hand side as well, has this 3-tile goal to be taken. So have a quick look at their scouting again. They seem to have shared the scouting more or less here. But Hallis seems to be winning the Trebs war here, is he? He has 5 Trebs total against Nili here. And Nili has 3 relics to 1, so that's definitely a gold source for the long game here for Nili to benefit from. He also has those 4 TCs producing builders, whereas Hallis is producing out to 3 TCs. So there is a chance that Nili might catch up here due to the fact that he has 1 TC more than Hallis. But if this goes to the very late game and comes down to a matter of gold or lack thereof, I think we'd have to favor the Chinese then, though the Aztecs have the relic gold, obviously, but Chinese simply have better trash. They have the option for light cab raids. Nili doesn't really have a good raiding option if he runs out of gold. And the monster with the relics is here, so that should also be possible for Hallis to challenge. The light cab is in here, husbandry, upgrades, conscription as well to boost the production speed of armies. And more stables going up here, so Hallis is gonna go for some raids now, and Nili's, sure he has thesis around, but this is a fairly exposed area to raids, so is the backside here. I think if Hallis can get some light cab raids down here, it's looking good for him to close out this game. Still keeping a 20 villagers lead as well, as you'd always want the villager lead over Aztecs, given the eco advantage that Aztecs have from the very get-go. Nili needs to push the trap backs, but the light cab are in now, husbandry on the way, triple, all of the defense upgrades are in here. Not sure why Hallis hasn't packed those yet, he is about to. Getting some builder picks to the side here as well, nice. Nili getting housed, it seems. If Nili can clean gold units, he's more likely to win trash fight, in my opinion. How so? Because of the Atlatl skirms? Nice, killing the light cab. Yeah, but does Nili have Garland Wars though? He hasn't made any... Yeah, he has a few pikes out, actually. Let's see if we can find... I agree with Wild Beast, the Chinese trash is much better. And the pikes, they barely have any upgrades. No, yeah, but he doesn't have Garland Wars. He has virtually no attack upgrades for the infantry. And Garland Wars is kind of costly. enter the light cab here to focus down some trebs, I think. Hallis will have to be careful with the Arbalest as well, though, but the Skirms chasing the Arbalest means that there's not much left to protect the trebs, and Nili loses at least 2 trebs here. He's only at 7 on gold. He still has that relic gold, but trebs, that's like 800 gold's worth of trebs down for Nili here. Hallis floating some gold here now and is keeping himself close to pop cap, whereas Nili is staying at 160 right now. Atlotl Skirm still doing work here, so it's not easy for Hallis to push this, but he needs a light cab meat shield in the middle here for the Arbas to chase from behind him. Nili with Arbs as well, but remember, Nili as the Aztecs doesn't have Thumbring, so his Arbalists are effectively worse than the Chinese ones. Hallis bringing the Treb forward here, really wants this castle out of the way to keep pushing here, and is this goal actually depleted for Nili? See another castle going up to the side for Nili here, but Hallis is here. Oh, no, target the builders, man! Oh, that sucks, that castle could have been denied. That could have been denied, but not sure how much of a difference it makes. Looking at the army numbers, Hallis keeps a solid lead now, 56 to 28. And Hallis takes the first map. GG, well played. Let's have a look at the stats here. And wait for them to launch the next one. So Hallis takes the 1-0. Nice game. But Chinese obviously very strong as well. Most of the pros agree that Chinese are very strong, simply given the fact that they start with 3 extra villagers and the cheaper technologies making for easy tech switches as needed as well. And as I mentioned a couple of times, Chinese simply have more mobility, especially when it comes to trash. Miguel says Arabia was always going to favor Hallis. Yeah, you know him better than me, so you probably know about that. See the uptime here as well, same play, going for the men-at-arms, and uptime's just overall more smooth for Hallis here. But the next game will be Islands. So we'll see what that brings us. Islands, indeed. Oh, we have a new background screen. Didn't realize. Let's actually just fix the draft here quickly as well. We had Nili losing with the Aztecs here and Hallis taking the win with the Chinese, but now we have Islands, and we'll see how that works out for us. The lobby is up, so we're just to let them fill that one. And I think they launched already, so just see if I can find it. If you can master Chinese on Arabia, absolutely a solid pick to go for. Oh, that's wrong. 897 14. Oh, there it was. Okay, so they haven't launched yet. It is fine. We could speculate a little bit about Sibs then. Nili will be hosting again. It's Islands. And for Hallis, I think that simply means Japanese. It's his only full naval Civ here. Unless he wants to go for a landing, he could go for some absolutely crazy stuff with another Civ here. But yeah, he might go Goths, exactly. That would be some mind games for Islands there. But I think he might be having Goths in mind for Desert Void, to be honest. for the Men-at-Arms Towers play. But we'll see. Who is a fan of violence, anyway? Right, they may have launched. There we go. Islands it is. Or not. Oh, gotta love this system. Come on. We just had it here. There is a chance I might actually need to restart the game to find the game to speculate here. But let's hope. There it is. Good. Italian's Japanese. So it's going to be fairly solid. Yeah, you're right, Akkal-AOE. Nili is streaming as well, obviously. Let's hope that Capture H will connect properly here. There we go. And I'll fast forward to catch up with the live action here. Islands it is. And I think we have to favor Nili here. He's granted the woodlines here. There's no gold or stone here for Hallis on this side, but this is just horrible. It's so narrow. The whole left side of Hallis' island here can be reached by warships. It's absolutely horrible. It's the worst map gen I've seen for islands ever, I think. So we'll see what Hallis makes of it. He's at a disadvantage here already. Well, Nili has this well-rounded island, broad, not as easily raided from the shoreline. I mean, even almost feudal galleys even could almost raid the woodlands on this side. So Hallis will probably has to fortify this somehow to have wood access later. I think even in Imp he can... Oh, what's going on here? Did we freeze? Did they pause? No, they didn't. Okay, it's just Capture H bugging out for me a little bit. Happens sometimes. Nili can easily sneak Vil there. It's never easy to sneak villagers on islands if you have houses along the shoreline and maybe some outposts to cover. And looking at Nili's pick, he's definitely going to play for the water here. Places a front dock. He is the Italians. He has so much potential to be earlier to the feudal age for the water fighting. And not to mention that Italians' university and dock technologies are cheaper. So Nili has a smoother path to all the appropriate upgrades for military units, both on land and water, actually, to some extent. I mean, with ballistics, for example, applies to archery units on land, but this is going to be a naval fight for sure. It's Japanese versus Italians. Both players front docking. For sure, they want to start out playing on water here, and a landing is usually what you do when you're behind and looking for a way to recover. Nili has scouted all of his shoreline already, just to have a grasp of things. And yeah, he obviously can't know right now that Hallis' situation is this bad, but that's certainly going to come into play in the later game, when wood will become a struggle for both players, as can happen on islands. But I think this is one of the islands games that won't go into the 2-hour range here, because just on the map generation, it's going to be so tough for Hallis. So idle time for Nili here, but he sorts it fairly quickly, keeping the DC idle time at a minimum. Let's see for the dogs here. Hallis actually beating Nilis to the fuel age here. That is pretty impressive, being the Japanese here over Italians that have that cheaper up. But in return, Nili has a stronger economy here. He has the 2 more builders than Hallis and also matching in the fishing ships here. So, as we approach the village, Nili will probably be dropping that second dock in not long. Hallis is actually beating Nili to that, so that could give Hallis an advantage in the production numbers here, if the eco allows. But I see Hallis dropping the mining camp just now. He is not going to have the gold to keep both docks producing fire galleys immediately on village here. We'll be producing one, of course. Looks like we have a pause, which is fine, obviously. Could be lag issues, could be other stuff. I just hope they don't pause for too long, because then we won't get to watch the rest of the match. Alright. What's going on here? Yeah, it's definitely paused still. Hotkey setup. Seems like Nili is having some issues here. Hotkey issues, in fact, I think, if I'm interpreting his stream correctly. Okay, I think they've kept going. Fuel age for Nili as well, but Nili with the resource setup has both the docks producing, so even with Hallis's early fuel age here, Hallis is not producing out of both docks and is going to be outnumbered by Nili here. It's going to help Hallis's cause a little bit because of the more tank efficient ships. They have twice the HP of generic fishing ships and a tiny bit more armor, but it certainly doesn't change the fact that Hallis is not getting his earlier fuel age to his full advantage. Thanks for the follow, Master Macintosh. Much appreciated. So Hallis does get the first fire galley out here, but the production is just, it's not good enough here to match what Nili is doing. Nili is just now dropping his third dock. He will actually be able to produce out all 3 of them as well. While Hallis is of course producing now, but that little mismatch in gold income has seriously taken its toll on Hallis's production already. Repairing the fishing ship here, that's cute. 3 versus 2 here now, but Hallis if he moves just a little bit further here now, we'll be able to see that Nili has not just 1 and 2, but 3 docks here, and keeping the consistent production, even adding some demos now from one of the docks. Nili is in it to win it here. Not to mention that Nili is the Italians, has cheaper, 50% cheaper advancement through the ages, already giving Nili an advantage unless Hallis can dispose the economy in a way that allows the Japanese to go up earlier here. And with that earlier cast date for the Italians also follows the cheaper upgrades for from the docks and from the university. Good, decent demo shot for a Hallis there. Usually you'd want to hit more than 1 ship with the demos if you're able. We see him nearly with some demo rafts as well. Demo for demo. Nice micro by Hallis there. Going to send this 1 HP fire galley in for repairs as well. And how this guy is even able to repair at that distance. He's deep out in the waters on his feet there, but Nili will still focus it down. Another demo. Nice, that's a beautiful demo hit for Hallis there, but still isn't able to take out the ships here. Overall, Hallis has a little bit more on food, so I think he's extended the economy on land to include some on food now. He's still got sheep, or what should we say, llamas to eat there. And somehow the fish is still alive as well, so Hallis is not doing too bad here, all things considered, but that naval army size is going to come back and bite Hallis in the ass here with only... now with 3 docks, actually. But... and that... I think Hallis is still going to struggle to match the numbers here now that Nili has 6 fire galleys left. So good for a stream that I'm not co-casting this. What do you mean, Ogdai1? You don't play water maps. You just say that Sicilians are OP on islands. Yeah, devil shots. Insta-ban, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, the words you're not allowed to say. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Hallis queuing up some more demos here, but we'll need to get some real juicy shots to the ammunition numbers. Nili is aware of the flag in the dock, and... somehow Hallis has been able to get a little bit back water. Nili does have a transport ship somewhere. But where is it? There it is. Not even hidden away here. And Hallis might spot it here. No, not really. So Nillis is gonna go for landing with the Italians now. What's that landing gonna bring though? It's gonna be... archers, or is it a fake landing? Nah, it's gonna bring the scout over. And Nili will realize that this map is less than ideal for Hallis, to say the least, with the very narrow edges around here. But let's go back to the waters here. Hallis is now somehow beating Nili to the cast stage here. All going well. Yeah, still awake, Paradox. Can't complain. This is the 2nd game, by the way. 8 fire galleys to 6. So Hallis with the numbers lead and somehow beating Nili by 1 minute to the gas stage as well. Seems like, well, great preparation for Hallis here on islands as well. But obviously it's not over by any chance. Nili, yes, he's 1 minute behind to the gas stage, but he still has those cheaper dock technologies, could get war galley careening, even ballistics if if war galleys come into play at some point. Demolition ship. And here comes the landing, okay? Scout and a couple of archers actually. And will Hallis be ready for this? He has not spotted the transport ship. He doesn't have any Any idea here? I had a few beers at the pub that should offset your tiredness. Oh, look, you who can go to the pub, man. I think I like the landing time of Nili here. It happens just as Hallis reaches the castle age. It's also a way to get back on islands, considering that Hallis actually has the naval lead now. 13 fire galleys to 8 of Nili. And of course beating Nili to war galley here, even if Nili will follow suit soon enough. Just a few archers forward. Fletching is in, but that's about it for Nili. Forcing a reaction here on land, and it's just transporting one archer at a time. Yeah, I do have some beer in the fridge, Paradox. I just am not convinced I should be drinking beer for a 24-hour stream, but we'll see. I really want one. Or a few. Nearly getting some villager kills here. Hallis does have Loom, obviously, but without any proper response to archers on land, it's tough for Hallis to react here. Might even have to invest into a defense. No, can't invest into a defensive tower because it's actually lacking the stone. Did he sell stone for... What's going on here? What am I missing? Hallis must have sold stone. He sells another... No, he builds TC now with the remaining 100 stone. 24 hours may turn into 12 hours. Nah. I'm not gonna have that many beer. But maybe one or two to stay awake. Meanwhile, back on the waters, Nili with fire ships, sorry, as well. And taking the opportunity to focus down the fishing ships of Hallis. Hallis, however, seems to have... Well, he has very little food economy. Hallis is going to need farms here if he has any plans to progress to the Imperial Age at some point. That food eco for Hallis is way behind Nili's at this point, and overall Nili's resource management seems to be much better here, even if the naval situation isn't too pretty here. Nili officially with no military on water right now, so he's going to lose at least one dock here now. He hasn't gone to stone yet, so he can't really get a castle up to build new docks around the castle for protection either. This stone is very exposed to war galley fire from the water, but this other one should be okay-ish, so Nili should still have access to stone. Going for a monastery now to secure the relics before the water is completely lost as well. I think that might be one of the reasons behind this. Let's see for Hallis' scouting here. Hallis has very little scouting intel on the rest of Nili's island here, so he can't really know what's going on. Probably suspecting Nili extending the economy on land here. But Hallis does not have this dock scouted, so Hallis might be caught off guard here by the demo shots. We could have some big hits here for Nili. Don't keep this so close. Oh, that's dangerous. Good reaction from Hallis. Loses only one fire ship there. And that's a fight Hallis is bound to lose, but he does have more numbers somewhere. Hallis now with the landing. Nice. What's the Japanese going to do for the landing here? The scale barding is in, so this is going to be knights, I think. Or knight siege. Or only siege. Who knows? And Nili does not have any intel on the landing here. No houses along the shoreline here. On the other hand, Nili has a monastery app. He's making monks. I think Italians have a decent monk tech tree. I think Italians get redemption if you're in a pinch here. If you have to convert some siege. Hal is sending another villager over just for safety here, mainly, I think. Genovese crossbow have bonus against chips as well. Yeah. I don't really see how that's going to apply here, but yeah, if Neil knows, maybe he'll make use of that. I doubt he's thinking in the same way that you are, though, on day one. Yeah, I think Italians are missing very few monk techs. So that actually Japanese have more than decent monks as well, if I don't remember wrongly. But its landing is something that Nili has no idea about. Hal is still keeping some control over water here. So that means that Nili will struggle to make a new land. Oh, is he going to convert the demo? That would be epic if he could convert. That might be one of the reasons for monks there. Oh! Alice spots it though, he's gonna snipe the monk, or if Nili kill it alone. Is Alice walking on islands? It kind of looks like it at this point. Nili with the villager lead, tiny population lead as well, and he does have 3 TCs to 2, but that could change rapidly now that Nili is forced into a defensive here and doesn't have response. Italian cav archers, man! Nice! Oh, never expect the Italian cav archers. Wow. Nearly about to lose 1 town center here. The cav archers don't have bloodlines, don't have Vodkanero. They're just there for the fun of it. Hallis fortifying his position here with a tower, and the 1 TC goes down, 2 villagers down. Has some cover fire here, has the monk, but the Hallis seems to be relying a bit on the lack of help here. Hey, Hardcore Chilla! Thanks for the donation. The players will appreciate that as well. Nice. Juicy shot indeed. Got 4 villagers in 1 mangonel shot there, I think. And Hallis really with the strong invasion islands here. Nearly hiding away his fish, so at least he's preserving those from Hallis's forward. Defensive siege is on place as well, and now with the scout and knight in the stables here. Hallis with the Castle Age watchtower rush, but these are probably no, they're not yet. But with the Japanese, if you get the castle up, you could research Yasama, and the towers will have shoot extra arrows. Imagine if it drops a castle with these 2 wheels now, that's... Even for a Showmatch with a modest price pool, I don't think 2 villagers castle drop is an option here for Hallis. His tower will not complete, and Hallis won't have a hiding spot for his villagers unless the mangonel micro is really on pointer. Are the monks actually going to convert the scout here? Took them a while, but they actually got it, and Hallis somehow completes the tower and keeps the mangonel alive. What is this? Another tower. Oh man, at least get guard tower here. Nili, meanwhile, is going to the Imperial Age here with the Italians. Nili loses access to stone because of the tower, so that's actually a beautiful tower. Beautiful tower by Hallis. Though this foundation won't complete. I think Hallis lost his landing villagers, but who's to stop him from sending over more here? We have guard tower in, and while Hallis is committing to a prolonged Castle Age play here, he seems to be in good shape for the match here. But Nili is preparing comeback on water here now, relying on Hallis's lack of... Well, he has this site scouted earlier on, but doesn't know that new docks are going up. If Nili can reclaim water, he could be the one landing. And his mangonel defense seems to be fairly decent as well, but now that guard tower is in, it makes it a lot harder to push against the landing villagers, even with mangonels here. And Nili will need something to tear down these towers as well, especially to have stone access. So that's just an ingenious move by Hallis there to block both stones of Nili. That basically means that Nili, if he wants to get the castle up, he'll have to buy it. Because one way to get back on Island's watered map is to drop a castle on the shoreline and drop your docks around it so that the enemy ships can't easily engage. Nili bought some stone for TC over here, so he's re-establishing some control over another woodline there, but Hallis just keeps at it with the towers here. 1 villager, couple of monks, some mangonels. This is as close to Hoanging as it gets on a water map, I think. And Nili is imp. He clicked imp a while ago. He's getting gallium. And he's not producing any numbers yet, but he does have one dock up here, but Hallis spots that one. Instant cannon gallons. Well, you still need something to deal with Hallis's fire ships though. But Hallis does not have careening, so his fire ships are actually quite vulnerable even to ranged or to War Galley fire here. It's going to be Huang's new meta towers siege. Quite possible. Wait. Can you even release ships from from that spot? Yeah. I can't quite decide if that's a weird dock or nice dock. Well, at least he doesn't risk going like Hera to release the ship on the wrong side. That's not really an option there. More docks up for Nili. He does have that technology. Alice is up as well. Has the stone for a castle. So if you get the Asama for these towers and even get keep in the Imperial Age maybe, then Nili will have to struggle to get the numbers back here. Landing is at a temporary halt for Hallis though, and Nili is playing it very quickly here. Hallis with some good scouting on the backside here though, suspecting maybe an attempted comeback from Nili. But Nili now making fast fire ships. That's gonna be tough. Did Hallis get redemption? I don't know, I don't think so. I didn't catch if he did. I can't check it in Capture H, sadly. But if he did, he would probably be converting buildings by now, I think. So Hallis has the fire ships now, but he's 1 minute 30 seconds away from the Imperial Age. Now don't ask me if Japanese get fast fire ship or no. I don't know. This looks like a castle drop to me. 5 builders moving over. And this tower foundation has just been forgotten about here. Nearly with the bombard cannons now on land. Oh, that's a good call actually to deal with the towers on land here. And even a castle. Oh, he's gonna snipe the monks as well. I feel like Hallis should add some demos. Seems like a reasonable call. Yeah, Nili makes use of the fact that Hallis isn't paying attention to the monks anymore. Gets 2-4-0 there with the Mangonel. Down they go. The castle will go up. Hallis will be able to get Trebs out. But it also needs something against the bombard cannons on land there. Italians do get Cavalier though, so that could be a play. But Nili has the 1-3. He could make monks to counter that. But the current composition on land here for the current composition on land here for Nili really invites Hallis to go into some kind of cavalry play here. And of course Hallis, with chemistry, has access to bombard cannons as well. We have fast fire ship right around the corner for Hallis. We see him taking crossbow, probably going to go into arbalest then. Nili with the fast fire, using the transport ship as a distraction for the fires of Hallis here. But Hallis has massively larger, not massively larger, but he has more numbers. And what Hallis... Yeah, they have the similar upgrades here. But Hallis has the numbers and will be chasing Nili again. Nili using that transport ship to tank as much damage as yet. Oh, so that... No, that's not a demo. I thought it was a demo. That would be huge. Here comes the demo. Alice takes an absolute minimum of damage there. We'll focus on this dock. Nili takes the opportunity to send in more demos here. Even more demos. 26 to 17 here. Hallis still has the numbers though. And Hallis establishing their presence in the middle as well. $11 to 12 here. Oh, you guys have a best of 3 on the panning here, eh? Yeah, Ogda1 says Nili has made a landing. I was too preoccupied with the naval battle here. Nili is Italian, so he can make condotieros just like that. He has that first defense while going into Galleon here as well, dropping some barracks on this very narrow passage land. And actually, the map general Nili is doing him a favor now, because now he can just stonewall up here and keep that aggression out. Still, though, that takes Hallis off a lot of woodlines here if he can't fight off this landing on Nili. But for once, having a narrow islands map gen actually serves into Hallis's advantage here, for at least temporarily. Let's look for the numbers. Hallis with our ballists in the north here. But Nili has bombard cannons, so he could use that to his advantage to focus down Arb's numbers here. Also some nice quick gates here to keep the Arbs from entering from this area. Lots of things going on here now. Nili with fast fires on the sea here to prevent Hallis from walling. That's some good awareness as well to keep that aggression out while Hallis drops a range. It's not ideal. I mean, condotieros they are anti-gunpowder units mainly, not anti-archer, but they're still lacking quite a bit of upgrades as well. So I guess Hallis will clean this up with a reasonable amount of Arbalest if he can. It's also dropping a castle here to secure this woodline and any further landings from this area. Good overall awareness. 36 to 37, very similar military numbers here. Nili has taken the eco lead though. But the naval military is still very well in Hallis's favor here. And Nili made the switch into Galleon to try and hit and run against the fire ships, I'd assume. And is doing a heck of a job defending on land as well here, Nili. This foundation is just still standing here for Hallis. And Nili with another landing RP here to the north. Is he actually going to... He's idling, or Hallis is idle a lot on land here now, and I get the impression that Nili has more wood left on his side than Hallis does, but Hallis also with the landing presence here forces Nili to have a very inefficient wood line in this area. Nili with a quick gate again here to temporarily stop the Arbs from moving on here, but now Hallis is going to get some good and juicy eco kills here. Condotieros doing work here for Nili, but they have to break through the stone gates here. I guess fast fire ships could help with that as well. So fast fire ships against Nili's now fast fire ship. Nili actually has numbers now. He's keeping those bombard cannons on land, dropping a castle on the shoreline. Yeah, he's freed up the area higher now from the towers with the bombard cannons. Hallis will make the best of the 4 remaining arbalests here, but it's not going to be enough. This castle most certainly goes up. While Hallis still has a decent grasp of the water, Nili is kind of making a comeback here. He still has the docks in the back. Right now he's not queuing anything out of them, but also reclaiming land position here, using bomber cannons and fast fire ships here to just obliterate Hallis's presence on land here. What a back and forth game here. New docks are going out for Nili here now on the front side, covered by castle fire here, so Hallis's fast fire ships, they won't apply anymore. You could say that they could hit the castle foundation, but that's not really going to make sense. I think bombard cannons could even take out docks here of Hallis because of the short distance. That's exactly what Nili is going to do here, unless he's going to transport them over. Condotieros making presence over on this side as well. Hallis will use some galleons and fast fire ships here to clean that up. Could say though that Hallis could, or Nili for that matter, could add cannon galleons here because you don't need to research that anymore if you have access to it. And that's exactly what Hallis is doing here. Is Nili doing that as well? Doesn't look like it. So, with cannon galleon out, Hallis could take advantage of the fact that Nili's castle is right on the shoreline here. But there's lots of things to focus on now. This barracks has units good as well. And Nili is kind of denying Hallis of some wood here, killing some villagers on land. Hallis' villager count is falling. Nili is slowly but steadily taking an eco lead here and keeping up with the military numbers. Might lose the castle on the shoreline here, but the bomber cannons are doing work as well to try and focus down whatever they can on the water here. Palm is with Nili for this one. Yeah, Hallis is up 1-0, so Nili needs a game here. Hallis has that middle island for now, though, and well, that's a very inefficient goal, but it's still gold. Did not take the chance to grasp the relic. Real Nili has 2 relics, so he's a little trickle of gold there. Hatton wants bad palm or cheering for Nili. We have a bit of a conflict here between Team Great Britain and Team Germany by the looks of it. Is Nili out of gold? It looks like it. He is relying on relic gold at this point. Hallis has the middle gold. Nili's island is looking nearly depleted there. He could sell stone for gold though. Not desirable since he will need this one up as well. But that might be Nili's last chance here to keep production going. Hallis with the gold control in the middle here, and Nili has no chance taking that back with Hallis. Yeah, lots of units here on the field. Hey, Shadow Crystallux with the raid. Thank you, my friend. Let's get a shout out for Shadow here. He's also featured Nili in the Showmatch events, so you should be familiar with the player. Not sure if he's had Hallis for anyone, but I appreciate the raid for sure. Welcome, every new viewers here in the middle of the second game here, which has been quite the back and forth game here. And finally, as AR12 resubs, it's win for Nili, making it a 1-1 here. Trombone close
24 hours Kriegasm.
But not quite. I play the horn. 1-1 it is. And you can see the army tabs here, the ups and downs. Maybe especially for Nili getting landed a couple of times here. Nili did land Hallis as well, but he did a lot on Hallis' island with the condotieros and with support from the little naval military he had on that side. Even with the gold still accessible for Hallis, Hallis taps out, calls the GG on islands, and will be going to 4 Lakes next. French horn, indeed. I think Wildebeest is right. It's small margins here between the players. But Nili with the relic gold does help a little bit. He would have had a bit of long-term gold access. It's just that you don't have any trash units on water, so that could be an issue. But if you have a look at Hallis' main island here, Nili kept the pressure going and kept Hallis to some extent of gold here. Pretty difficult. My saxophone is easier. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Saxophone it's easy to make sound in a saxophone, but it's more difficult to master as well. Alright, Shadow, thanks for the raid and thanks for lurking around. Let me see if Nili has, or Alice has sent me the next. He has sent me the next game ID, so I'll just search it up. So next game on 4 Lakes. I said they could use cross as well, but the Hidden Cup map pack has had some issues recently. Here's the horn, by the way. I'm keeping it close. But they might be on the way already. We need to sort this out. Nili did take the win with Italians there, wasn't it? And Hallis with the Japanese, losing on islands. We'll be having 4 lakes next. Yeah, the French Order certainly has its difficulties. Not gonna object to that. Hey Dom, doing alright, thank you. Ooh, Goths on 4 lakes, that could be interesting, but to be honest, it has to be Lithuanians for 4 lakes. Unless he wants to go Monk Siege push on Desert Void, which could be something as well. But Lithuanians could be just so ridiculous on going 4 lakes. Nili will go for the Huns for sure. Or most likely. Not for sure. Nothing is sure until we see it. Let me just double check if I got the ID correct here. Oh, there we go. Fortnight later. I think we'll say it depends. Depends. If I want the AoE 2 viewers, I'll just stick with AoE 2 content. Why can't I find it though? This is concerning. Okay, so that's a tiny bit of idle time between the lobby and the actual match then. There it is. 4 lakes they're playing. Yeah. Huns Lithuanians. I guess correct again. Waiting for game, it says. Waiting for game state, waiting for interface. Thanks, Capture H. Here we go. Hey, Deco, hello again. So you're stopping by earlier as well. Now we're in the middle of Nili vs Hallis and now entering the 3rd game. Let me just make sure we are completely live here by fast forwarding a tiny bit. And otherwise, we'll be moving on. So the map is 4 lakes, and as I predicted, would you be able to play the Turkish March on the French horn? Because in my customer plays against, yeah, let's try that after Stole Messiahs. A Shaggy stacked up with drinks and nicotine. No nicotine for me, thank you. I still haven't tried a cigarette to this day, but I do have some alcohol. Yeah, Deeker, you're right. Ah, yeah, okay, one, you know the command. Show Deco what we're talking about. Well, that's a long-term project, man. Beethoven's Turkish March. Ogedai won this Turkish Stone Messiahs, that's why, probably why Ogedai translated. So, I wasn't paying attention clearly enough in the beginning here. But what I do think Hallis did here, being Lithuanians, is adapting the well, I'm not going to say that Survivalist was the one coming up with it, but that's how I know of the build order. Survivalist has a YouTube video on 4 lakes specific build order for Lithuanians, where you, instead of doing the standard 6 on jeep, you go straight with everyone to wood. That boosts your starting wood source as Lithuanians so that you could drop the dock nearly instantly, and keep fluent fishing ship production while still having wood for houses and whatnot. Nili is here with the scout. He's hoping to snipe the docking villager, but Hallis, expecting this to happen, has already preemptively walled, so that won't happen. So as a result of this, we see Hallis now with 3 fishing ships and Nili with the Huns, currently only with 1. But since Huns never need to build houses, Nili is saving wood throughout the game, and as he gets the wood eco-rolling, he should also have an easy time sustaining fish economy in the lakes while attending to other tasks. For 4 lakes with Huns, of course, that eco is amazing when you can get to trolling, but it will favor cavalry archer play as well, I'd say. Since 4 lakes has some convenient hills to pull back to for the mobility of cav archers. And it's always convenient to never need to build houses and risk getting housed. Thank you, newbie on the loose, for the follow. I wonder how will Akkal play Meter March. I wouldn't know. Not sure if I know the tune. We have both players on the way up here. So newbie on the loose might be a Nili fanboy judging from the emotes. Barrack's going up for Hallis. He's not going to gold, so he's going to go for the scouts here. Sustained by fish economy for ease of production. Nili is with 4 fishing ships as well, just 1 behind Hallis by now. And spots the sneaky villager of Nili over here. So Nili is not going to get that sneak dock up. Hallis could now in the feudal age produce a galley ASAP just to further secure this lake, but if he deals with the landing villager, it shouldn't be an issue anyway. And Hallis is also bringing the scout back home here to deal with the forward. Thanks for the follow, FLX2219. Yeah, TJB, that Islands game was something by Nili. He actually won, not having not having the gold in the end. Nice spot by Hallis though. He stops Nili's dock from completing. He could even wall in the foundation here, not that it would matter much. Good awareness by Hallis there. Hallis is sending a scout forward. He doesn't seem to have any... He's been checking the pond over here just to see if Nili has docked this one as well. That's not the case, and neither player has scouted the south one anything specially. Nili has scouted all the shorelines just to be on the safe side, and he's also walling all the way towards the edge here, chasing away Hallis' scout. Janissary hat for the next 24 hour stream, and 19th of May doesn't seem like a realistic idea for another 24 hour stream. It's not that fun. It's fun, but just an ordinary guy who happens to have mod status with that one. You see, Hallis added a galley here in this lake at home. By having galley presence here, you make it a lot harder for the opponent to sneak dock either of your corners. And it's also tasked 1 fishing ship over here just to have an idea if Nili tries to sneak in again. Hallis, walling the left-hand side here, is long-term going to go for the long wall all the way towards the edge, I'd say. But for now, he's keeping Nili off this area. Nili, however, with that wood savings from the Huns, and now back on the wood income here, has docked this lake, is docking this lake. They both are intact, and I don't think they actually see each other here. Nili doesn't know that Hallis is here either. So, being Lithuanians here, we could have a little mention of the relics location as well. It's really not favoring Hallis here. 2 in the middle, 1 over here, 1 in the back on the space, and then this one on the other side as well. It's going to be hard for Hallis to gather even those 2 relics here. Nili could deny all the relics, so this map... And the gold, neutral golds as well. There's 2 neutral golds on Nili's side and 1 on Hallis's, so... or am I missing something here? Yeah, let's have a look at the scouts. So Hallis getting 1 builder kill there. Well, not just one, 5. 5 eco kills overall. I'm babbling away here, not catching the proper attention. So Nili's 5 builders down. And also slightly more idle TC time here. Good early offensives by Hallis here. However, Nili seems in a good spot to beat Hallis handily to the gas stage here, which could be huge. With either access to cavalry archers, or if Nili wants to play the knights here. Actually, given the relics location that Nili has some idea of here, Nili might actually consider going knights against Lithuanians here, because it's going to be hard for Hallis to collect all of the relics here, or enough relics here for it really to matter against Han's play here. They're having a bit of water fighting though, Nili with the fire galley against Hallis's galley here. Hallis is docking this side as well, whereas Nili doesn't really know that that is the case. But that's just yeah, so this pawn could be punished by Hallis, but Nili seems in decent control in this area, denying Hallis of this pawn. We'll see what happens on this side, but currently it looks like Nili is in more or less in control of three lakes here on 4 lakes. Hallis has more of the land control in the scouts though, and has had 6 builder kills by now, is dropping ranges. I think Nili tried for a sneak again here, not quite succeeding. Another forward builder going down, 7-2 eco KD. Hallis, however, still only 4 eco units ahead here, according to the statistics. Neither player up to the cast stage, but I still think that Nili could beat Hallis to it. I'm guessing Nili doesn't have a market, but it's probably not too far off. Nah, Hallis gets the cast stage first, but he gets housed in the process as well. What's the idea? He's going archers, Lithuanians archers. Going Lithuanians. Does he want to play Lithuanians cavalry archers here, or what's the what's the idea later on? That could be cool to see. Rangers might come in handy anyway against the Huns if you expect the cavalry archers to enter the field here. These scouts don't have any upgrades, not even bloodlines. That could be a giveaway for Nili, that Hallis isn't immediately going to follow this up with a cavalry play. It's gone for a decent amount of scouts here, but no upgrades whatsoever, so that should shake up Nili's thoughts a little bit here. Hallis seems to be taking control over this lake as well to deny Nili of it, but Nili has his spearmen poking away at the docks here. Lots of spearmen on the field. I think Nili, yeah, it still needs to deal with the scouts. They are annoying here, but Hallis is playing a bit of mind games here, actually placing the ranges here. Nili has no idea this is happening. The archers, by the looks of it, going to be crossbows here. Should easily be able to contest Nili's woodland here. While Nili 40 seconds off the cast stage here, what is Nili's plan? There's a somewhat even fight down here, but Nili is the one with the fishing ships out. Hallis, another fire galley coming out, wants to contest this pond still. I'm sure this catches Nili off guard. He's not expecting Lithuanians to follow up with crossbows in the cast stage here. I mean, 99% of the time Lithuanians would be playing cavalry in the cast stage, but this is full-on mind games by Hallis, and Hallis takes the win, of course. Nili has lost 12 villagers by now, losing control over the lakes here, but that's a solid performance by Hallis on 4 lakes here. And takes the 2-1 for now. Let's have a look at the stats and go for the next game as soon as the players are ready. See that army flow here, Hallis keeping that consistent, and most importantly, getting the economy, keeping the economy down for Nili here. Uptimes arguably different here, but also that crossbow follow-up ability is, I'm sure that caught Nili big time off guard. Slightly late to the cast date for Nili as well. And the eco situation shows, yeah, overall villager lead for Hallis here. All right, let's go back here and see. Game 4 will be on the slower side. It will be Desert Void. But let's go to the draft first until they send the next lobby ID. Hallis takes the win with Lithuanians. Strong civilization for 4 lakes for sure. Hallis is up 2-1, while the 2 remaining maps are Desert Void and Sacred Springs. Nili definitely going to play Indians for Sacred Springs. The shorefish there is just ridiculous. Whereas Hallis, I think it's Goths. Could also be Ethiopians for Desert Void here, but we'll see. We have the lobby ID. Thanks, Nili. And the next one will be Desert Void, as said. I hope the map works after the patch. I honestly didn't think about any patch change there. Ooh. Shaggy with the Akal drink emote there. I think I need to reboot AOE 2 here, but we can make that work. Since it's Desert Void, we won't be missing too much of the action anyway, because that's basically do-it-yourself hideout. I swear this game takes longer and longer to load for every time you open it. While it's booting up, let me just get me something more to drink. Not beer just yet. So I'm assuming they've launched by now. Or maybe not. Oh, they didn't launch yet. That is okay. Totally answered. I'm off to lose one more time in League of Empires. Alright, good luck with League of Empires game. TJB official. Started. Good. I usually need to go like this to find it. There they are. We're not going to be losing a lot because it's Desert Void. Portuguese versus Ethiopians. Oh, hey, actually. Okay, I'm going to get into this why Portuguese might not be half bad here. At least for the very long game. Please, work for me. Game is running. Right. Guess we're restarting Capture H as well. Oh no, okay. Never mind. We got this. We got this. Sorry about the mess. Catching up with the live here. Hopefully. Alright, so the map is Desert Void. Found in the Desert Cup map pack, if anyone's interested. It's exactly what it sounds like. A void. You start with your own little oasis, if you want to call it that. You have berries, you have 2 elephants, you have the standard 8 goats, and the woodland. As you can see, this invites a IKEA arena playstyle, right? You just wall off and prepare for the Castle Age aggression here. Pushing with Siege, Monk Siege comes to mind. Archer's aggression, of course, as well as the woodlands grow thinner. We'll see how the players choose to play it. And don't get fooled by these dots over here. This is a Capture H bug. This is all desert terrain. The only thing outside of your starting area are some tiny patches of stone. 4 of these 2 tiles and patches. That's all there is to it. Alice, very offensive in the scouting here, is actually going to neglect a tiny bit of walling from Nili here. Okay, so to try and make some reasoning for Nili's pick here with the Portuguese, I think Nili is thinking long term that if this map goes to a point when there's no gold, no resources left, you'd have the Feitorias with Portuguese here. That could be part of the thinking here actually, but of course Portuguese have a very versatile tech 3 as well. Any gold unit costs less with the Portuguese. I am not seeing organ guns as an option here for Nili because there's only 4 patches of stone and they spawn randomly on the map. But Portuguese is good on low gold maps, says Ogadawon. He has a point as well. Portuguese save 20% gold for any gold unit. So that's a saving in itself. We see Nili walling off here while Hallis tries for the pre-milled rush. But I think Hallis is going to go for a miss here. Hallis miss. He's looking for entry here, but I don't think he's going to be able to hit Nili in time. Maybe on this side. Splitting out the militia as well. Hoping to find entry on either side here. But Nili even spots the backside here. It has these small patches here. I bet Nili scouted the barracks and knows that the pre-milled rush is coming. He will rush up the walls and make sure that Hallis's Dark Age investment more or less goes to waste here. If you get lucky, you could still punch through the unfinished palisades because Dark Age walls only have 150 hit points. But looking at this, Nili has already found himself at an advantage here. He could use these walls, keep the aggression out with some repairs on the palisades or some houses behind, and go straight past castle up this. Whereas Hallis has invested 60 food and 180 80 food and 60 gold into the militia. Nili-Hallis 0 gold, Nili's 100. Yeah, I'll see if I can find Beethoven Turkish March Stone Messiahs. So the militia investment not absolutely useless here. You could still pound away at walls and force a reaction, diminishing the wood of Nili a tiny bit here. The scout is in the inside, but the HP is so low it's not really going to help Palace match here. Wads should be available for 2 weeks after live. Yeah. Should be able to find it, I think. Beethoven Turkish March. Yeah, I'm hoping to make the whole 14 hours more. As long as I remember to drink water and whatnot. Shakuni, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Both players up to the feudal age here. Hallis beating Nili to it with 2 less population. Oh. Thank you very much, says Nili. I could gain some intel here. This is more of an oversight than a trap by Hallis. We see him seeing Nili's scout enter. Nili has revealed the opening, and Hallis will be plugging that ASAP. Oh, the trap! The almost trap! Nili's scout is already weakened though, so there's a limit to how much damage Nili can cause here, but he could make the best of it, gather scouting intel, and harass a little bit of economy, forcing a reaction, obstructing Hallis' food income a tiny bit, maybe. Hallis with the blacksmith range here, let's assume. And he's actually going to beat Nili to the castle age here, with that 100 food, 100 gold king in Hallis. Hello, Magnolia! With the drink emotes. Level Magnolia. Oh, that time has passed, Paradox. She's Magnolia AOE now.
Ow.
She's grown up. You have a backup plan if you pass out. I think the webcam can almost see my bed in the back there. Tissue paper catmat, thanks for the follow. So let's see from Nili here, scattering all the intel he can, finding the gold spots, finding the fact that Hallis has 2 golds within his walls, the third one over here. So if Hallis walls all the way towards the edge, Hallis could have access to all 3 golds within his walls. Being up against the Ethiopians, it should be a huge surprise that Hallis is going for the archers here. Nili with 1 minute 30 seconds to go to the next age, and still Hallis is being annoying with the angry housewives here, but that's about it. And yeah, there are still weak spots here where Hallis could potentially break in the backsides, but for now it's just settling for some constant annoyment, giving Nili that constant attack alert. So what's Nili's plan here? S6 on gold. Maybe going to play the eco card here and drop a couple of town centers, maybe. to secure some of the side golds. Nili only has 1 gold inside of the base after all. Hallis is on the move with the archers though, and will be having potential to break in here. Nili's immediate direction, of course. Not just 1, but 2 defensive siege workshops. Interesting. Crossbow is in for the Ethiopians. Faster firing crossbow at that. Hallis doesn't have Chinese this time around, so it's not going to be a quick ballistics this time. Nili with the market wall here. Good way to keep archers' aggression out. Oh, that was a Canadian accent out there. And crossbows are in, so Nili fails to keep the aggression completely out here. The quick gate delays the aggression though, maybe enough to get those mangonels out, and Alice seeing the two siege workshops should honestly just back off ASAP here. He does have faster firing crossbows though, so he could take a risk at focusing them down. He actually uses the militia here to try and focus down one mangonel as well. How solid is Hallis, by the way? Well, Hallis seems to be having a good day here. He is up to 1 as well, and he seems to have some momentum against Nili here. Nili with the gold savings and the potential for Portuguese Feitorías here might be able to stall out the game to win it due to free Feitoria resources though. But let's not hope it will be a stalemate like that. Nili already with 3 mangonels out could easily turn this into effective counter pressure against Hallis here. Hallis only with 12 military. And what's Hallis' response going to be to Nili's offensive here? Defensive siege workshop makes perfect sense. Defensive castle, that's just not going to be an option here because the stones are way out there. So I'm curious to see how Hallis solves this currently with only crossbows on the field. You can't, well you can, but you usually shouldn't be able to focus down 3 mangonels with crossbows exclusively. There's of course the defensive mangonel on the way, but that's 1 mangonel against 3. That's also not easy for Hallis. Nili could make a smooth recovery here back into a 2-2 here. Palisade is down, so he gets those. Does Nili, I don't think he knows about Siege Workshop, but I mean, common game sense will tell you that the opponent has gone for defensive siege here. Nili with 2 mangonels making the most of it here, taking out archers. 8-3 is the military count now. While Hallis spreads out the crossbows and tries to be annoying here, but because of the attention needed at home, Nili gets a shot in on some of the forward crossbows here as well. It's beginning to resemble kind of a monk siege push here for Nili. He has the monster up, he has the pikes and the mangonels. Interesting. This map by Lake says Arsak, yeah, it's IKEA Arena, as mentioned. Nice mangonel micro from Hallis there, but not enough to take the Nili mangonel completely out. Nili with not with any repair villagers here though, and I'm not sure if that was a what's that, a delete shot, or it's just a nice targeting by Nili here. I think it might have been an attack round, I'm not sure, but gets the 1-for-1. I'm sure Nili is happy with that at this point. Trying to convert crossbows here for the shows. Nili recognizes, of course, that gold is going to run out on this map, and the relic disposition seems to be more or less in the middle of the map here, so they should be able to grasp for both players here. Every map is okay, arena. Yeah, true. Maybe not islands, but this looks like a map you could do some town starts on for sure. Although Britons, they got banned in the draft. Britons are a strong pick for this map for obvious reasons. With the Britons are blessed 5+5, 5+6 range if you get the Yeoman somehow as well. because you'd essentially reach over all the woodlines. But I've seen Monk Siege pushes pull off with success here, and myself, I did Cumans Capture Rams and Scorpions and Knights push against a friend of mine. He was drunk, but yeah, he lost. Not drunk, but very hangover. Nili with military strength superiority, I would say here. More value from the military, committing to Monk Spikes and Siege here, which basically renders the Ethiopian crossbows useless, in my opinion. And Hallis will need either significant masses of the faster firing crossbows here, and most definitely ballistics, or it'll need a plan B here. Ethiopians, they're the only civilization to get absolutely all of the siege technologies. Nili just needs redemption to dominate now. Yeah, true for sure. Nice hit by Hallis though, taking the Scorp. But the Mangonels are still alive. Nili has 4 of them. Doesn't matter if he loses 1 now, he still has 4. 5 in fact, while Hallis is... yeah. Still mainly with the crossbows, hoping to deal damage over the edges of the woodlands here. Nili also, keep in mind, he's getting redemption, so he'll be able to convert enemy siege now. And buildings. and the Portuguese still save 20% gold, even for siege units. Alice with another TC here now, extending the economy at home into a triple TC, knowing that if he can last against Nili's pressure here, he's going to have the upper hand in the eco. He's already 15 villagers ahead. He needs to hold. Maybe sneak in some counterattacks like with the tiny group crossbows here. But the main idea is to hold. I think this would be a better point of entry for Hallis actually. Could range this woodline here easily, force Nili to relocate, but this one is also within range of the crossbows. But this is where the action is at though. Nili with some solid forward presence here, dropping another monastery and just demolishing the village. Why not just convert the barracks though? Oh, this could be... oh, Nili's Mangonel Micro is on point again here. He's not going to allow Alice to get much value out of the crossbows here. And definitely keeps the lead. It seems dangerous to keep the Mangonels this close. Alice evades most of that shot. He actually doesn't have any armor, but took limited damage there. Didn't lose a single crossbow. Nili keeps 2 and 2 Mangols close together. That seems so risky because of shots like this. That's a 2-for-1 for Hallis there. You should be more than happy with that one. So many Mangonels this game. Nearly with 7 Mangonels. 2 monks. No, 2 spears and 3 monks. Making more monks as well. Looks like he collected 1 relic. And it's just confining Hallis to home base here. Hallis with the light cam now. Seems like the proper call. It counters both monks and siege here. And of course the crossbow's not viable against this kind of forward. Nearly not with enough spearmen here. He's not going to lose everything obviously, but he's losing at least 2 Mangonels here. More gold down the drain for the Portuguese here. And can't decide whether to convert the crossbow or kill it with Mangos, but this number of Mangonels seems scary. There's a forward villager as well to repair the weak one here as Nili pushes further into Hallis' base, where Hallis has basically no escape. Yeah, I guess Mangos killed most of the light cab, so must have been some nice targeting by Nili there. Hallis out with the light cab again, killing more and more Mangonels, targeting a monk as well now. That's some amazing value for Hallis, to be honest, against this forward. To go mainly light cab here while Nili's spending his gold, but there are 2 more gold mines for Nili to take, so I don't think Nili is panicking out of lack of gold just yet. Nice repair microwave. Pikeman is in for the Portuguese player now, and sort of acting as a meat shield in between the Mangonel and the crossbows here, but Hallis' Mangonel and crossbow micro is seriously on point here. I don't know if that was a dodge or just a missed attack round by Nili here. Is Hallis going to focus down this one Mangonel? Hallis takes the win! He weathers the storm of Nili's siege, one push here with the Ethiopians. Going light cap, going crossbows, and going his own siege from 1-1-3. Wow. Battlebot Bird, yes, it will definitely go to my YouTube. And also, if you want to see the bots, they are should be accessible for 14 days since I'm affiliate. Hallis with the 3-1. Wow. Quick look at the stats before we look into the next game. That's probably right around the corner. Last game, Nili's last chance to remedy himself was Sacred Springs, where he definitely has the Civ advantage. Fantastic defense from Hallis, though. Maybe calling that Monk Siege Child push early enough to react. That defensive siege workshop went up as soon as Hallis saw the Magnals. He always GG's after bad grades. Yeah, Hallis is doing good here. Let's see the economy ahead for Hallis, not surprisingly so, with 3 TCs behind this. Castle times smoother for Hallis here with the Drush. A bit surprising to me, but maybe Nili had to invest more into keeping the walls intact than it looked like at first. Last game on Sacred Springs, as soon as that is ready. That is one map from Red Bull 1003, but played on random map settings. And let's see if they have the ID for me. There we go. Thanks. Whenever you're ready, Nili. Last game. Let's go to the Sims actually before moving on here. Das Bonbon aus Wurst. Thanks for the follow. Dankeschön. We'll note that Nili loses with Portuguese on Desert Void, and Hallis takes the win with Ethiopians. Hallis doing the UK proud, yeah, for sure. Can't play now, Meisel. Sorry about that. Okay, not bad. I never learned German. Maybe my short stays in Berlin on occasion have paid off. Let's see. That one says, I think it will be Bulgarians versus Franks of Goth. No way. It's 100% going to be Indians for Lily. And it's going to be probably Goths for Hallis to try and counter that. It's not going to go Franks because it's going to expect Indians. It's going to be Indians versus Goths. Otherwise, I'll be called or be surprised. Yeah, Sacred Springs is the one with the 4 sections with shorefish. Look at that one. Bulgarians counters both. Hey, thanks for the gift sub, the Ghost. Yeah, Air 12 has a fair point with Bulgarians. I'm thinking strictly for the early economy. Air 12, that why would you not use Indians for that map with that kind of eco advantage? But if you have a sim that counters both, of course you use that one. So maybe it is Bulgarians versus whatever Alice brings out, though. We'll see in just a moment. Yeah, Airtel was right. Bulgarians Goths it is. And now let's hope that capture H will load on point. Waiting for game. And Sacred Springs it is. Let me just fast forward to catch up with the live action here. And we'll be on our way. Yeah, we seem to be live. This will be the last game of the 5-game Showmatch. And again, Hallis versus Nili should be fairly clear from the menu on top here. The map is Sacred Springs, familiar from Red Bull Wallow 3. But as Red Bull was played on Empire Wars, this is played on random map settings. So not that accelerated field age start. You have 4 springs around the map here, hence the name, which has shorefish in abundance. There's like 17 shorefish or something at each section here, 17, 19. A lot here. Ooh. Wait, 16, 16, 19, 15. Ah, okay, it's not that bad. Nili has. I hope Nili goes for this first. He probably doesn't think about it in the big picture here, but this one actually has the most fish of all. Maybe we'll see an infantry feast. Yeah. Though both Goths and Bulgarians classified as infantry civilization. I have seen a lot of Cav Archer play in this map when I used it for my tournament open season. But in this case, we have 2 infantry cities. Bulgarians have more than decent Cav Archers. In fact, they have... Oh, they upgraded the Cav Archers, don't they? So that's still a play for the Bulgarians. I'm pointing at the wrong side here. While the Goths won't be going for Cav Archers. No, I don't think it adds fish from other ponds. Or that one, with, when you have only that one point in view. Bulgarians only missing last armor. There we have it, yeah. And of course for the late game, for Bulgarians with stirrups, text, you could have some amazing Hussar raids. See, Hallis bringing in the boar here. That's a long lure, but the villager has loom, so that should be fine. Nili is doing the same thing, actually. So Nili has loom as well. No apparent advantage for either player here. Yeah, but you're not playing here, Dennis, or Ogedamon. Nili and Hallis are. I remember Draken being pissed off at this map since one of his boards was hidden behind the monuments. So I thought he thought it was lamed. Yeah, I guess that could happen, but there's so much shorefish to be taken, so you don't necessarily need to take the boars, even playing this with random map settings. I was Mirror versus Nili as well, I see. Yeah, well, the boars should... I mean, that's a bit of homework as well, though. You should know that there are 2 boars there. So if you can't see it, that's on you. Then get that giant boar mod if you're struggling. There is a monster boar mod out there. So, Hallis with the Goths here. Making the barracks nearly for the time being don't have any military. He does go for that back woodline though. Pretty far away, but also much more chunky than the small ones close to home base here. I'm hoping to see lots of open feudal age aggression here, because this map is, while possible, it's tough to pull wall. And you'll need army on the field to contest the other players' food income. You'll see from the scouting from both players here that they know where their opponents are taking fish. And that's where I think the first bit of fighting will be going on as well. Alice with the barracks with militia inside, making at least 4 of them now. And Nili has... let's see. Nili hasn't seen the barracks actually, but you have to expect that from gods anyway. So I think Nili should be prepared. He's making a barracks of his own. Probably expecting infantry, a drush or men-at-arms style play here over scouts from this civilization. Here we go. 4 militia. Nili, of course, on point with the scout there. Sees the movement. Will be queuing his own militia. It's going to cost him a bit more, but Nili could still, he could use the shorefish villagers to fight against militia. It's important for Nili to take the fight here before Hallis can get men-at-arms. It's vital for Nili's for Nili to hold off against this, to challenge this. I think he's going to commit villagers. Hallis has men-at-arms on the way. The clock is ticking for Nili here. There are, in fact, 5 militia out for Hallis here. So this seems to have been well planned, this cheap Goths infantry here. Nili actually gets men-at-arms. I forgot that Bulgarians get men-at-arms instantly, but still, it's the feudal age timing that was earlier for Hallis. So maybe Nili will hold off this nicely after all. He is in fact spending less resources on the militia, not having to tech the actual upgrade. Down goes Nili's scout, but so will Hallis's almost as well. Nili actually bringing in some villagers to join in the fight here as well, and send those Goths militia just right back into the Stone Age. No villagers lost thus far. Nili trying to get a poke at Hallis' scout here, and Hallis might very well lose that one, as Hallis is going for an extended infantry play here, while Nili is making Bulgarians archers, because that's honestly the best feudal age response to men-at-arms play, unless you're up against Malians with a DX or Pierce armor. Lost will. Oh, right. Yeah, that's 2 villagers down for Nili. The archers should salvage the situation though. Nili being down. 4 villagers total here by the looks of it. So slightly more idle TC time for Nili. How about men-at-arms into men-at-arms? Looks like that Hallis is doing here. Okay, that one, but it's also going into archers with the Goths. But Goths gets crossbow. And Bulgarians don't. They stop at archers. So Nili will be forced into skirmishers in that case. And Bulgarians could use both the scout and the men-at-arms to counter enemy skirmishers, if that's the case. Yeah, Hallis almost, risking the scout there is actually going to lose it, but he's going to get another villager trade here while Nili uses his archers and skirm combo now to deal with the last remaining men-at-arms. In the meantime, we have Goth's archers here mainly. And Hallis getting both upgrades for the archers line here. Which is certainly going to help in the fight against Nili's masses of archers and skirms here. But I'm a little bit concerned about the skirmishers in the mix here for Hallis's armies. A little bit of an elevation advantage here. A couple of men-at-arms to force Nili to focus down the men-at-arms with his archers. Otherwise, the men-at-arms will just take out the skirmishers here. But you have to keep in mind that these top players here are hesitant to take any engagements they can't get the better end of. So that's why they're pulling back and not risking anything, both of them, until they think they have an advantage. Or the confidence. Hallis mixing in some skirmishes as well here. And the military situation mirrored here, but with Hallis with a 5 villager lead here now. Second range for the Bulgarians. Is Nili going to double up on the skirmishes here? And then follow up with some cavalry play in the Castle Age maybe? 5 villagers down for Nili indeed. Solid economic lead for Hallis as a result of that. Nili gets housed in the middle of all this as well. This is beginning to look good for Hallis here. He's establishing a tiny military lead, but a huge eco lead at 18.5 minutes in. Nearly walling off a bit, so at least keeping his wood line very safe here. So is the gold until Hallis go for a more Mongol approach. As Goths, you could of course go knights in the Castle Age, but or cab archers, but we'll see how what Hallis deems justifiable here. Looking at the eco here, Hallis didn't take the second area here yet. Nili is actually making use of both, so there is a chance Nili could recover here and hit that Castle Age earlier with that food boost he's getting of taking both pawns here, and Nili with the counter aggression now is going to get some pickoffs of Hallis here, because Hallis' army is out of position. Well spotted by Nili there to track the armies, of course, and know that now I can engage against Hallis. He doesn't have any defenses. That's 2 villagers down for... No, wait, that's more villagers down for Hallis. That is about to be 6 villagers down for Hallis. And just like that, Nili is catching up here. 5-5 eco KD Nili, however, with 1 minute of idleness time more than Hallis here. Scout addition here, but there are 6 archers for Nili here. The scout can't easily engage. Hallis with that +1 for the scouts. That's going to help out a bit, but doesn't solve the issue of the archers in the mix here. Looks like a good offensive for Nili now to further even out the economic differences. Oh, that's lucky for Hallis there to salvage that 1 HP villager, but Nili attacking on 2 sides here now. Sort of getting a small surround on Hallis here, and 4 scouts total for Nillis. They're both producing scouts. They're probably acknowledging the fact that mobility will be of essence on this map, or is of essence. They know that, of course. Nili takes the win. Hallis taps out, gives Nili the win, and ends with a 3-2 for the show match. That was a bit abrupt, but I can see Hallis with losses here, and not really having an obvious response to the scouts here. I don't see any spears. Then you lose all your skirmishers, you lose all of the military just like that, and that's where it ends. GG, well played. I'll just have a quick look at the stats here before ending it. Oh, it's crashed. It crashed. It's not GG. It was a crash. It was a crash. I'm hoping they will restore. Maybe $15 for both. Yeah. That would almost be a decent compromise. Nili would be getting the worst end of the deal for that, though. um, yeah, but they crushed just for fun. So we're having a bit of this discussion on a private message for them. And we'll see what they discuss. Offer to split the price, and whoever agrees to that actually gets nothing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not sure if I should go for full disclosure here. Yeah, Nili thinks he was in the winning spot. Yeah, he's probably saying that on his stream as well. But I have to agree with the ghost. It's not GG. Lots of chaos in Hallis's base. They'll replay. They'll do a full restart of this match. That truly messes up the oh, what should I say? The mindset of the players to have to replay the same scenes. It basically means that they could do something another best of 5 to decide who takes this match. Now that's something I'm fairly certain they won't agree to. But I'm glad Nili is okay with the replay. He actually offered it, so that's nice of Nili. It sucks to be in the wing spot and have to replay if it goes any different, but as AirFL pointed out earlier, Bulgarians counter golfs. So Nili should still be in a good spot here. And I'm thinking that the map generations are fairly constant for Sacred Springs. So that shouldn't matter too much. Let's see for the lobby ID here, 89736. 99736 008. Lily can respond better to this strat now. 5-minute arms took him by surprise. Yeah. That's a bit of setback. So Hallis might need to switch up his game on the spot now. That sucks for him. But Hallis is up 3 to 1, in fact. So he can afford to lose one game. Oh, oops. Here we go. Let's get going for a replay of the final game to see who takes the game over. Hallis with the Red Bull Wallow icon here even. Nice. And here we go. There we go. Reset the score. Let me make a quick fast forward here, and we should be good to go. There was a crash palm, and Nili felt like he was in the winning spot, and Hallis felt like he was okay. So there's a replay, and I'm glad Nili agrees to a full replay. I didn't think of the fact that that Hallis was the one crashing. Actually, that should add up as well. Yeah, Nili said so as well, that he was in his favor. And I'm not completely disagreeing, but We can't know whether it's a local issue for Alice or if it's the DE causing the crash. So I'm glad they're replaying and not being that yeah, intent about it. I have a little bit of capturation lag here. Hope it will work out okay still. Wonder if they will be playing the same way now, or if we'll be seeing some different styles here. So Hallis with a tiny villager lead here, but I can't quite tell why. And Nili this time around is going for the middle wood line instead of the back one, because the back one is further away. Players' positions are kind of reversed of the previous game. And given Nili's location, it could be that he wants to extend more on the infantry investment now, because he's staying quite close to the gold here. He's bringing in the second boar. Nili research loom. Yeah, but so did Hallis, didn't he? Ah, God's loom. God's loom, of course. It's instant. That makes sense. Didn't forgotten that one. So that puts Hallis in a lead then, having instant loom for the gods. Basically using just 1 second or even less, getting to that point. Let's have a look at scouting of both as well. Nili will be confirming that Hallis isn't fishing on the right-hand side, but in fact taking the left side here. So they'll know where to hit. And Hallis also confirming most likely that... Wait, Nili actually isn't going for any fish just yet. Nili did take 2 wars as far as I can see. He's walling off a bit as well. And... not sure if he's expecting Hallis to do the same thing over again. Of course he's gonna expect some kind of men-at-arms opening. His scout is on point here as well, but it's not going to challenge the villager. That's a fight that Nili can't win with the scout when the villager has loom, or it's gonna be close. Thanks for the follow, Swiss Blaze. I appreciate it. That alert is very jarring. You're only saying that because you play this game and hear the alert sound. It's not the same as the in-game volume. The in-game one is... Will just crapped himself. I'll tell you what is confusing when I play myself and hear that following sound sometimes when I play my games. And then right after you hear the game noise. Just for fun with a song request, we'll do it after the tournament announcement then. I was like, where am I getting attacked, but I'm not even in game. You already know. Yeah, I know. You told me. Reddy is here. Hello, Reddy. And Hallis seems to be mirroring his play from the previous game. And Nili will be prepared now. Even more so, I'd say. Nili with 3 on gold. He is the Bulgarians, but he's actually not queuing any more units just yet. Is he going for the stone, maybe? And going... No, there's the range, never mind. But Nili is keeping his economy so much more safe now behind walls. And there's not really much merit to the men-at-arms play here. Hallis even with 6 militia now. How are the games going? This is actually a replay of the last game. They are restarting it because Hallis crashed and they couldn't restore. Nearly with range blacksmith, double range blacksmith, and just now, I guess, going for the box turtles. Hallis with limited intel here will be running right into Nili's town center. Are you kidding me? Oh boy. Yeah, definitely much idle time for Nili is struggling for food here. Now going into the farms, and he will be compensating, of course, by getting those box turtles after the men-at-arms have passed, funnily enough. And Hallis with the 6 men-at-arms, yes, he might be able to break through the palisade gate, but that's not to stop Nili from dropping some houses behind and stopping that aggression. Hallis with the range as the previous one, even a tower on the food here. Double range Bulgarians, yeah, for sure. Double range archers at that. Hallis with house, Nili with house walls here to keep the men-at-arms out. I guess Hallis in theory could try and drop a tower here or something, but that's a very long walk around, and Nili is on point with the counter aggression with the archers here. Tower won't save in against scouts, although scouts are hard without any stable. Yeah, you need a stable for the scouts. Committing to repairs for now, but that's 3 villagers idling for repairs here. Hallis with a significant villager lead. Nearly with 2 minutes 40 something seconds. But TC idle time is really high. Did Nearly just not have the food? I think he was struggling for food because he wasn't taking either of the shorefish early on. So I think Nearly simply has mismanaged here. Maybe the mindset is a bit off after a restart he kind of didn't feel like want to do. We went up with mining camp, alarm camp. I didn't notice that, but that is kind of weird. Hallis with a 6 villagers lead by the looks of it, and pop capped for the moment, but 14 military to 12. Neither now with the stable here, but doesn't Hallis mainly have... Well, it's a mix of archers and skirms, but it's 4 skirms, 4 archers. Guess it's going to come down to army control here, Nili with the stable and scouts here. And Hallis now with the ranged approach here to deny Nili of gold to limit whatever the plan might be here. Men-at-arms on one side, archers on the other. Full surround here, forcing a tower of Nili, and the men-at-arms might even break through here. This is forcing a lot of idle eco time of Nili here, forcing a tower as well, which is good against Bulgarians. Even though Bulgarians would still afford a second TC in the cast stage if the game should go that far. Looks like Nili need to crash right about now. I did trap the men-at-arms at least, so that's something. But the eco situation though is 10 villagers ahead for Hallis. Hallis with 11 military to 10 here. Where did those men-at-arms go? Did they get shot by the tower, I guess? Mainly skirmishers though, but also a spearman somewhere. Nili with scouts on the move on the other side here. Hallis, however, preparing for that with spearmen already out as well. 60 military to 7 now. Nili also light years behind in the economy. Will not be seeing Castle Age anytime soon there. That goes for Hallis as well, though. Hallis is playing full feudal by the looks of it, but has the military numbers by far over Nili here. Nili has the scouts on this side. There aren't any spears around here, so Nili could get a good engagement against these builders here. The shortcut of Nili not really being touched now. Is going to mill this one as well and defend with archers, but there are mainly skirms here for Hallis, so that is not good for Nili. They have the same upgrades, but Hallis 4 skirms against 5 archers. Nili will have to pull in the villagers here to fight the skirms and focus on the archers with his own archers. But here comes the scout as well, helps out quite a bit and allows the mill to go up. While it's going to cost villagers idle time and some archers' lives here. The archers, I'd say, are expendable for the Bulgarians since they won't be becoming crossbows anyway. Lots of spearmen in the mix here for Hallis, not allowing Nili to engage with the scouts. Of course, Nili is being pulled off the box turtles before he can even take them here, and scouts and skirmishers, but they are separated. Where are the skirmishers that are coming from behind here? Hallis, though, on the way to the castle stage now, chasing with whatever he has here, and with the spearmen still alive, Nili can't comfortably engage with the scouts, doesn't even try here. Sends in archers and skirmishers here though, and Nili now outnumbered in military. The issue might be that Hallis now is on the way to the cast stage. 17 on food, 15 on gold. This has to be a nice follow-up by Hallis, I think. Alright, these goths could be something else. Yeah, I'm thinking that when Cast Age kicks in, Nili will call it because he's just so far away from Cast Age himself. Hallis has invested into the defensive tower as well, so there's no difference in the stone there, but Hallis has access to crossbow, elite skirm if needed, pikemen. Looks like he wants to play some mounted units here though, so maybe we'll be seeing some Goths Knights enter the field here, while Nili desperately tries to engage with the armies here to idle Hallis as much as possible on the way up here. Nili needs to focus archers here indeed, but that's easier said than done. If you can focus down the archers and the spears, then the scouts could engage, but down go the scouts, and Nili now fighting with 22 feudal age military against Hallis with 35 military total, and Hallis has a group over here as well. That's going to be dealt with by Nili's skirmishers nicely though. Skirmishers on Nili counters basically everything here, but Cast Age kicks in, and Nili obviously taps out. Calls GG. Hallis takes the 4-1 after a slightly controversial replaying decision there, maybe. But replay it was, and thankfully Nili agreed to it. Browsing through the stats here, we should show the uptimes virtually similar here for both, but Hal is the only one to the cast age. Also with a builder max of, isn't that 9 builders ahead? GG well played, is it?